your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So
a form of hate speech. Pretty much only direct threats that could be considered actionable, as well as remarks meant to incite public chaos, are exceptions of the First Amendment. Yes. Anyway, we'll go through the UN report, but before we get there, Rubio says visa revocations for foreigners are underway. Brian Mast pulled back on the passport thing that they were entertaining, where they even talked about potentially introducing a provision in a bill where they could get Marco Rubio to take away American citizens' U.S. passports away from them if they weren't sufficiently pro-Israel. That was a real thing that they were entertaining, and then they quietly revoked it, quietly pulled it back. Having said that, however, obviously when it comes to visa revocations, they're still going along with it because the State Department has tremendous power over people coming into the country, like offering them visas, allowing them to get visas, or not allowing them to get visas, or even taking away their visas. Like they are entertaining visa revocations, and this is just an entry point into a broader. This is an entry point into a broader attack on the First Amendment. Okay, the First Amendment protects citizens and non-citizens alike. Make no mistake, regardless of whatever some dumb fuck tells you online, the First Amendment is for everyone on U.S. soil. Okay, citizens and non-citizens alike, documented and undocumented non-citizens alike. The passport revocations was an extension on this, but they got a little too enthusiastic and had to scale it back instantly. Having said that, however, they are still going along with visa revocations. Let's take a look.
The business of inviting people to visit our country who are going to be involved in negative and destructive behavior. Okay, so why should, if I invite someone, if we invite someone to visit the United States of America as a student, as a tourist, as whatever, then they have a different, the standard they should be held to is very high. We shouldn't be bringing people into this country. We should not be giving visas to people who are going to come to the United States and do things like celebrate the murder, the execution, the assassination of a political figure. We should not.
Yeah. At first it was for Israel. Now they're saying it's for Charlie Kirk. Tomorrow it could be saying Marco Rubio's ears are too large. Okay? Once you develop the standard that visa revocations for tourists, for people coming into the country, once you set the standard for non-citizens like this, you can expand on it, okay? Don't say he will hear me. I know he will hear me. I intend for him to hear me. He's got big old ears like Dumbo, okay? I know. Motherfucker's got satellites slammed to the side of his cheeks, okay? This stuff is so crazy. But yeah, as I was saying, Brian Mast removed the provision that would allow Rubio to take any American passport away for criticizing Israel. The new version doesn't have it. Okay, they took it out.
And if they're already here, we should be revoking their visa.
So the passports for U.S. passport revocation for U.S. citizens is now gone. Having said that, they're still doing it to people that are coming into the country. Okay, and what is frustrating about this is that there's a lot of appetite for it. They can get you to agree to dangerous erosions of the First Amendment by simply stating that you're doing this to non-citizens and they don't deserve it. They have a different standard for rights. Why do you think Mast did that? Because I think they got a little heavy-handed. It's the same as it is the same as when they tried to do this like new FEMA provision where they were like, you can't get any FEMA help if you've criticized Israel or if you wanted to do BDS or whatever. And then people saw that and were like, what the fuck? What the hell are you saying? And then they had to strike that. This is boundary testing through and through. So do you, fool. Wait, what? What do you mean, so do I? Why do they hate cancel culture? They want to be cancel culture. They do not hate cancel culture. They want to be cancel culture. Of course. They don't hate DEI or what they consider to be DEI, which is a bastardization anyway. They want that fake version, what they've designed as DEI, to be for their people, for Republicans, for white guys. It's always the same. is always the same. They don't care about cancel culture. They just want to do cancel culture. They claim that cancel culture has been done to them. They don't care about the First Amendment. They never have, and they never will. They just did not want people to even criticize them. And now, considering that that is the ultimate goal here, they're open with their ambition. That's it.
And then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after the...
Like, people who are like, hate speech is not real, shut the fuck up, whatever, are now chirping as though, like, saying Charlie Kirk wasn't a good person is hate speech. That's insane, okay? Not only is that not hate speech, but hate speech is still protected regardless by every fucking, every understanding of it, okay? In the United States of America, the government cannot intervene and silence people's opinions and political participation. This is the government doing just that. It's doubly fucked because not only is it not hate speech, okay, Charlie Kirk or right-wing political figures or Donald Trump's favorite fucking YouTuber is not a protected class, okay? It's so stupid. What an insane thing to claim.
These groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action.
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
And what do you make of Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
Should probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So
a form of hate speech. Pretty much only direct threats that could be considered actionable, as well as remarks meant to incite public chaos, are exceptions of the First Amendment. Yes. She elaborated on Twitter after people yelled at her. Hate speech that crosses the line into threats of violence is not protected by the First Amendment. It's a crime for far too long. We've watched the radical left normalize threats, calls for assassinations, and cheer on political violence. That era is over. Under 18 U.S.C., it's a federal crime to transmit any communication containing any threat to kidnap any person or any threat to injure the person or another. Likewise, 18 U.S.C., on those other provisions, make it a felony to threaten public officials, members of Congress, or their families. You cannot call for someone's murder. You cannot swat a member of Congress. You cannot dox a conservative family and think it will be brushed off as free speech. These acts are punishable crimes, and every single threat will be met with the full force of law. This is true, except they don't even fucking prosecute that. I like that she openly said, though, that like the protections are only limited to people that do this to Republicans and conservatives, which is the case. Okay, if conservatives do it to liberals, leftists, people they consider to be political dissidents, then that's fine. That's clearly fine. It is clear this violent rhetoric is designed to silence others from voicing conservative ideals. We would never be silenced, not our families, not our freedoms, and never for Charlie. His legacy will not be erased by fear or intimidation. Matt Shia says, freelance reporter for BBC, Matt Shia says, hi, Attorney General Pam Bondi. Can you please clarify, based on the statement, which of the following statements are crimes? We have to beat the hell out of the radical left lunatics. Donald Trump. Just kill him. When referencing homeless people. Brian Kilmeade. We should be posting protesters' exact names and addresses online. Dox the people. Greg Gutfeld over at Fox News. They are at war with us. We are going to avenge Charlie Kirk's death. Jesse Waters at Fox News. But of course, people are, conservatives are after demanding that people get doxxed or fired for not sufficiently grieving Charlie Kirk. They are now turning around and yelling at Pam Bondi now. But yeah, Attorney General Pam Bondi's clip went viral. Mehdi Hasan and many others said hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. Keep America free. Swalwell called her out for refusing to do anything about direct threats against his family. Yeah, I know. This is like, guys, if you are even remotely on the left flank, you have already experienced all of this, and you know the government doesn't do anything about it. And it's not like the government under the liberal leadership was doing anything about it either. Okay? There has never been an instance where this is like, this has ever been used to protect people on the left flank of American politics, no matter how fucking centrist or liberal they might be. Took 3 days after the CNN interview for Mace to tell her colleague to go back to Africa. Yeah. Go back to Somalia. Your values are not compatible with our American values. Enough is enough. Love America or leave. This is after there are calls being made to deport Ilhan Omar. Nancy Mace is also trying to censure Ilhan Omar again. Fun fact, Nancy Mace is trying to censure me over comments I never said. Her res does not contain a single quote from me because she couldn't find any. Unlike her, I have routinely condemned political violence, no matter the political ideology. This is all an attempt to push a false story so she can fundraise and boost her run for governor. To try and engage in this kind of deplatforming because they don't really give a shit about Charlie Kirk. They just want to fucking silence political dissent. But here's Matt Walsh after spending the last couple of days being the largest advocate for cancel culture and the largest advocate for free speech erosion, turning around and attacking Pam Bondi. Bondi says, if you want to go and print posters with Charlie's picture for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that. We have right now our civil rights unit looking at that. Matt Walsh says, get rid of her today. This is insane. Conservatives have fought for decades for the right to refuse service to anyone. We won that fight. Now Pam Bondi wants to roll it back for no reason. The employee who didn't print the flyer was already fired by his employer. This stuff is being handled successfully through free speech and free markets. This is totally gratuitous and pointless. We need the Attorney General focused on bringing down the left-wing terror cells, not prosecuting Office Depot for God's sake. It's just such a remarkable change here. Like he is literally saying like, this is a silly fucking fight. You should be using your prosecutorial tools to stamp out any sort of opposition to the administration instead. He's not mad because she's doing too much. He's mad because she's not doing enough. Okay? Am I agreeing with him? Do you agree that the Attorney General needs to focus on bringing down the left-wing terror cells? Because if you don't agree with that, then you don't agree with Matt Walsh.